I have to pee. No, I'm just kidding.
Living Clean is a presentation of the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness and is brought to you by Vita Novus Treatment Centre and Addictions 911.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Living Clean. I'm your host, Glenn Allen. Tonight on the program, I'm talking about alcohol and drugs. If you have any questions about the addiction to alcohol and drugs, we want you to call into the show if you're dealing with a family member, or whether it be a friend or a neighbor, or you're looking for a place to go to get help for alcohol and drugs. We want you to call in. As well, something that's come up in recent times, and that is fears and barriers for men. And those fears and barriers as far as going to a men's withdrawal management center. In the old days, they used to call them detoxes. And sometimes we paint those places, we paint them with looking like almost like a third world country, and oh my God, it's so scary to go into, when in reality, it's not at all. It's like going into the hospital. And joining me on the program tonight is one of those counselors and he is from the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management Center, Keith Ledger. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Well, thank you. Thanks,
Good to have you.
Yeah, nice to be here.
How long have you been working at the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Center? I'm going to start calling it detox because that's a mouthful.
Center, yeah.
We got to, you know what we have to come up with? We have to come up with, I guess, would be an acronym. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
WMC.
WMC. That's
Withdrawal
still
Management
no.
Center.
We got to come up with something that it's a word so Glenn can remember it.
Okay.
WMC is, is that WM? I don't know.
WMD.
I don't know. Got to still shorten it. Okay, we have to do something. I'll take that up with your boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to talk to Deb and Anna.
Yeah.
Well, they'll help me.
They'll find something
They
that'll
always
make
help
it easy
me.
for you.
But anyway, how long have you been doing that? And talk a little bit about your responsibilities.
I've been at the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management now for coming up on 5 years. I worked at the St. Joe's in Toronto. I was there for 2.5 years. Worked at the Sudbury Detox up
Really?
in Pine Gate Addictions for about 6 months. And I also spent about a year working with youth at a place called, what was it called? The Inner Sight Educational Homes.
Really?
Back shortly after I graduated school. So.
Really? Mm-hmm. I like the North, so when you said Sudbury, I didn't know you worked in Sudbury.
Yeah,
And we know each other. We're good friends.
Yeah.
So apparently not that close as I thought we might have been, but I didn't know that about your background as far as your working experience.
Yeah.
Because I travel up speak in schools.
Yeah.
In that part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said Sudbury, it's a nice gig up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful country.
Yeah, if you can get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In talking about Hamilton or any of the ones that you just mentioned, there's so many different there's so many different, not stories, but some people say, last year, Keith, and Debbie and I have talked about this, and it had to be rectified. In order to get into the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management Center, it wasn't even in the phone book.
Yep.
And that was rectified this year. But this year, I mean, for a man out there, and of course, Debbie has been on before, and we've talked about Womankind Addiction Service, because that's the women's detox, if you will.
Yep.
And of course, we talk about that all the time as well. But we're talking about the barriers and the fears for men. Some guys have never, ever, ever accessed this in their life.
Yeah.
So for a man like that, who's finally drummed up the courage
To make the phone call. And
how do they do that? Because that is something that is first of all, it's very courageous. But how do they access your place?
just phone us. Basically, the number is 905-527-9264. Call us up. If we have a bed available at the time, we do a screening.
And what's the screening? Because again, you have to break this stuff down.
Screening's very simple. We want geographical information as far as your name, as far as your age, date of birth, health insurance number, address, and then it's just tell us a little bit about your substance use. What is it that we're going to be looking for withdrawals? Okay. What the substance is, how often you're using, what other things?
What their background is.
Yeah, what other things might be contributing? What medications you're on? Any health problems? That kind of thing.
So a lot of those questions are for you to help them.
That's right.
Okay.
And what we're basically trying to find out is there any barriers to them coming to us directly, or do they need to see a physician first, either through the ER, through a walk-in clinic, or through their family doctor to maybe get some medications to help them through their withdrawal?
And what might, just throw one or two out that might be there?
If somebody has a seizure history, for instance, we definitely want them on some kind of medication to help, prevent them from having a seizure in our unit. Yeah. It's for their safety as well as for liability's sake. We've had a lot of clients in the past come into our center and have seizures that never had histories of it.
Yep.
And basically our protocol is just to send them right to emerge as soon as they come to.
Sure.
We keep them safe during that, and they usually end up coming back 6 or 7 hours later from the hospital and not really know what happened, and they're on some medication to help them through that. So,
yeah. And you would also have, I guess, some men who have been drinking for so many years, and again, maybe this is the first time that they're finally coming in, or a long stretch where you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're not having their drug of choice, being alcohol.
Right.
And that too can cause a seizure, because that all of a sudden,
serious withdrawals. Yeah.
Yeah. And
their body's used to a substance in order to function normally, and then that substance isn't there anymore, and their body goes into shock.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yep.
All right. Just before we go to break, though, I have to. I'm going to flip this a little bit, and we'll, as usual, we'll push the commercial break a little further away, because I want people, and the numbers, the studio lines are on the studio phone numbers are on the screen right here, and the lines are already starting to fill up. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go to a commercial, and when we do that. When we come back from break, we're going to go right to your phone calls, because the viewers are the star of this show. The callers who call in are the stars of this show. You have worked in these detoxes, because I can't say the other one's plural. You have gone to school to work in this field. I believe only people with really big hearts can come into this profession and do it. There are people who can come in and do it with some degree of passion who have never been on the other side. But then you have those who clean up and go to school and come back, and their passion, nothing against anyone else who's working in it and who hasn't gone on the other side, but they'll never have that passion that the other person has. And you're one of those guys who went to school of hard knocks before he went to school.
Yeah, I got.
Tell us a little bit about your story.
I spent 25 years battling alcohol and drugs, and lost that battle. It was it took everything from me, my family, my job, financially bankrupt, morally, physically, spiritually. I was knocking on death's doorstep, basically, and I had a moment of clarity one morning, sitting in my basement. I all of a sudden got this thought that, what if my son finds me dead? And you know, at that point in time, I was cocaine was my drug of choice at the time, and you know, using quite large amounts every single day, and I think it was 126 pounds at that point, trying to get into treatment, and you know, the barriers are there, waiting times and all the rest of it, and I struggled to get in, and at that point it was, you know, that thought of my son finding me dead on the floor in my basement, and he was 7 years old at that time, drove me to seeking help, and that help was basically getting down on my knees and asking for it. Something that I had never done, but that was it for me. I was done. I needed help, and that was the first time I really admitted it to myself. So,
What did that feel like?
Emotional. What it felt like was basically I had stopped fighting. I had just given up. There was, you know, it was a battle that I had fought for years, and I finally knew that I couldn't win, and just gave it up. And you know, things happened for me that I had no control over after that. I ended up in a treatment center 4 days later, and
Imagine that, eh?
yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to hear some more of that, as well as some experiences in the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management Center, because when you're there and you're working away, it's a lot what I do, working with the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness. We have a peer support group for adult male survivors of childhood sexual abuse, and a big part of my story was that childhood sexual abuse from someone outside of our home who was involved in minor sports in my hometown. And today, seeing how God has taken that and is now using that as what drives me to help others. You know, and that drives me to help others when people come to see me, as I know they come to seek you out, and say, you know what, my son or daughter is messed up on, you know, pot, alcohol, coke, ecstasy, whatever, whatever the drugs are, whatever the alcohol is. You know, it's just it's that passion that we have, and others who come onto this program and others who call into the program have, and you hear it in their voices of how they want to reach out and help other people. So tonight, talking on this program about fears and barriers, about those men's withdrawal management centers. Tonight we're talking about alcohol and drug addiction. As well, the phone lines, they are open phone lines. So we do want your phone call. What's going through your head tonight? What's going on? And this is a life and death show. This is a life and death topic that we're talking about. And I will ask again that for those of you who like to prank call, don't. We're dealing with life and death on this program. And I ask you to be solid enough not to do it. Okay? This is a show where we talk about people's lives. Jeff, we're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going right to the phone lines. There's 2 lines that are open. Get on. When we come back, we're going to your phone calls. This is Living Clean you're watching. Back in just a minute.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. Go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vita Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
And welcome back to Living Clean. Glenn Allen alongside Keith Ledger. It was funny, you and I, because we were at a hockey tournament together, and this is back when this other gentleman was alive, and I didn't realize at first who I was sharing a room with, and the lady says, I didn't hear her right, and I thought she said Heath Ledger.
And I get that all the time.
And I go, what? I said, what are you? And I thought she said it again, and I went, what are you talking about? and I hadn't really, at that point.
Right. We hadn't connected yet. Yeah.
Oh, Keith. I thought the guys were pranking me. Jeez. I want to know that I got a shout out to the guys in Hamilton who are sitting on those leather chairs, and you know who you are because I used to be there. About 12 and a half years ago in Hamilton at the, what's back when we called it a detox.
Yeah.
And I remember, what was her name? She worked nice, Janet? You're too
Before
young.
my time.
Yeah, thanks. When I finally hit my bottom, I sat right where you guys are. And I met probably 3 gentlemen. And when I first got there, there was kind of a full place, and then they kind of filtered out. And these 4 guys, 2 of which are still very much a part of my life that I met there, and the one guy in particular, and the one guy I'd love to know where he is. He was older. The one guy that I met there, he was in his 60s, and God bless him, he kept coming back. And I heard that at 70 years old, he celebrated 1 full year of sobriety. God bless him. Because I saw him downtown a few times.
Yeah.
Woohoo! He wasn't getting it at that particular point.
Right.
But we were up one night, and she came in. It was just the 4 of us. And I can't tell you why we were laughing, because it's family television. But we were just guys being guys, right? We were like little boys at the time.
Right.
And it was, we were just being guys, and we were laughing. And you know what? I hadn't laughed like that since I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
And she said, you guys, I haven't heard laughter come from this room in, forget how many years, she said. She goes, I'm going to let you guys stay up until 12.
Right.
Or 1, or whatever it was. And so you guys are sitting in that room. I was sitting there, 12 and a half years ago. So you guys can do it. And you guys can give him the gears tomorrow.
Yeah. We're here to help you guys.
Yeah. Absolutely we are. And listen to these guys. We're going to go to Tom in Stratford on line 5. Tom, how are you, my friend?
Not too bad, Glenn. How are you tonight?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead. Thanks for calling.
Your guest tonight, you're talking about fear.
Yep.
What treatments are there available for somebody who suffers, as I do, with enormous fear?
Okay. I'm sorry? Say it again?
What treatments are there available for someone like I do who suffers with ongoing fear issues and they don't go away?
Interesting question, Keith.
Is this anxiety you're talking about?
I had brain surgery in 2003. I was a bouncer in a bar. I sustained a brain injury. I worked there for 5 years, and I got hit over the head with a chair. And I had to go to University Hospital in London, and I had to have a shunt put in my brain. Mm-hmm. And they put the shunt in, but it didn't take. So I've got active hydrocephalus, so I do. Now I take gabapentin for seizures, to stop in case I had a seizure, and I take diazepam because they've tried me on different numerous drugs, and antidepressants won't work for me, and I think it's because of this thing that I've got in my head, the active hydrocephalus. All the depression drugs seem to want to settle on the top of my brain, and they cause me extreme headaches. So they do. Now my doctor, I waited a year to get into a psychiatrist. I went to a psychiatrist, and he put me on these antidepressants. I fell and split my head open on the street, and I was dizzy and couldn't concentrate, couldn't function properly. So then he suggested maybe shock therapy, and then he backed away from it because he said, I don't know if that would help you or not, and then he sort of washed his hands with me. And so I've been at the mercy of my doctor, who I believe is really trying to help me. I've got a fantastic family doctor, but in saying that, he's only a family practitioner, and I don't think he really knows what to do with it, and yet I suffer with severe bouts of anxiety. So is there any other forms of treatment, or is it just a hit and miss with different drugs, or?
Well, there's plenty of different therapies that they use for anxiety disorders that may be effective. Kind of out of my realm here.
Let me, if I could, Tom, have you ever been to any of the acquired brain injury clinics?
No.
No, that's where I would suggest you go because, buddy, I'm telling you, they've done wonders for me. I've had 16 concussions, and actually I was late coming to the show tonight because of one of the headaches and one of the other things that I'm medicated for. And it was I had a really tough day today because of the injuries. And all I can tell you, to talk to your family doctor about acquired brain injuries, and if you want, I could I would go to your doctor and ask him about the closest acquired brain injury clinic that's around you. And if he's not sure, I can give you information about around Hamilton. If you want to, Jeff, if you can throw my information up, I can give you information for my place here in Hamilton. That's not a problem, but I would go to your family doctor and ask him first who's and where is the closest one for you.
Is there anything near Stratford, Glenn?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, buddy, and that's why I said go to this family doctor, because he may not know, but go to him first, and if he doesn't know for sure, send me an email. My email address is right there on the screen. Okay, it'll stay up after you're off the call, and fire me off an email, and I'll give you the information and stuff in Hamilton. Okay.
Okay. The only trouble I got, Glenn, is that my doctor, he tried to contact the original neurologist I had. He washed his hands with me. He said there's nothing more I can do for him because of his brain condition. He's tried to get me in a different neurologist. He can't. And I don't know if there's really anything they can do for me. And I can't drive because I'm not allowed to have a license because I have blackout spells. And so I'm really in a rough spot that way. I don't know what to do with it, and I don't think my doctor, as kind as he is, I don't really think he knows what to do with it.
Really, eh? Well, do me a favor and call him. And then if he doesn't, then get a hold of me at my office, and I'll see what I'll ask the people who I'm working with what there is. Okay, and it will at least give you an idea. And in the meantime, if you're online, click into Google acquired brain injury clinics
Or services.
or services.
Should be one in Kitchener, actually.
Yeah, do that tonight. Okay.
I don't have internet accessibility, Glenn.
Okay. Well, can you do me a favor? I'm going to put you back on hold. Okay, we're going to put you back on hold, and I want you to give Doug your phone number. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll get a hold of you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, that's the acquired brain injury clinics that are in and around this area. This area are dynamite, and are like I'm one of the recipients of them. It's part of Hamilton Health Sciences.
Yeah.
And if you are going through brain injury stuff, can you tell I go?
Yeah.
But a lot of people think acquired brain injury clients are guys and men and women who are in wheelchairs, and there are those who are so unfortunate and drool, and those are the most severe. But there are people out there like me who are functioning and have regular jobs. But if you knew what it took
To get there.
to work every day and do all those things, and then dump more stuff on your plate and more stuff on your plate, you have no idea what it takes out of a person.
Yeah.
And that's why, like this past weekend, has been, for me, arguably one of the worst, one of the absolute worst in recent history. It's just been brutal.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about me. We're going to go to Michael, line 4 in London. Michael, how you doing?
Hello, Glenn.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Michael,
Yep.
and I struggle with the Oxycontin addiction.
What's the second one?
Oxycontin addiction?
Oh, an Oxycontin addiction.
Yeah.
How old are you, Mike?
Huh?
How old are you?
51.
51. How long's your addiction been going, bud?
About 5 years.
How did you start?
Well, it's always been on prescription, but it's never been to the point it is now.
Yeah. Were you in an accident?
Yeah.
Did you ever drink or use drugs before that, Mike?
Yeah, I used to drink a lot,
Yeah.
and then it was like halfway through what I'm in now that I realized I had to quit drinking because I started getting a lot of problems and stuff, and it's like I got that anxiety, fear addiction too. I've had a lot of head injuries in the past, but I've never been diagnosed for brain injury.
Sure. Do you have a family doctor? Who have you talked to about this so far, Michael?
Yeah, and I've got a lawyer on the case too that wants me to go to Hamilton to see his doctors there.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, like I'm really going through a lot this week, and I'm looking for answers.
Are you looking to get off the Oxycontins?
Mike?
No, I pretty much messed up with everyone that I know. That's not an answer for me anymore.
Are you looking to try to get into detox, Mike?
Yeah,
You want to get into detox?
yeah.
One of the things that we suggest to anybody trying to get off of prescription opiates, Oxycontins, Dilaudids, Percocets, is that they see their family doctor, let them know that they're interested in coming into a withdrawal management center. We have a withdrawal protocol basically for opiates that involves 3 different medications that really helps alleviate the symptoms of withdrawal. We have found over the last 2 years since the protocol has been in use that the symptoms get reduced significantly, and basically your stay in the center will last through your withdrawal 90% of the time, where it used to be maybe 10% of the time the clients would actually stay. Most of them would leave just because the withdrawals are too uncomfortable. So,
yeah. Mike, what where you are right now, where you're at right now, what's your thinking process, buddy?
It's really slow.
Yeah, you sound like you've kind of lost hope, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a tough night tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you need some help tonight?
I don't think I'll be all right tonight, but
Yeah. Can you if in the morning can you call your doctor, or can you even get to the emergency tomorrow and tell them that you need that you need some help in this?
I think I've tried to do that before and I just got kicked out.
Why'd you get kicked out?
I don't know.
No. What part of London are you in, buddy?
Hey?
What part of London are you in?
South.
In the south. So what's the closest detox? Do you know?
Huh?
What's the closest detox to you?
I don't know.
And you're not sure? What's the closest hospital? Are you close to Thames Valley?
I don't know.
No, you're not sure, eh? Well, Mike, I want to make sure you're in a good place here, and I want to make sure that that you're okay tonight. That's first and foremost my concern, because we want to make sure we can help you if we have to tonight, because it's imperative, right? Do you mind, Mike, if we put you on hold, and I want Doug to talk to you for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We're gonna follow up with you, okay? Thank you, buddy. Well, yeah, we're gonna go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to Bowmanville, Vaughan, and Hamilton, and back to London. Or Living Clean right after this.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. Go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vida Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
Is someone else's drinking affecting your life? Does it make you feel angry?
Don't yell at me because you're mad at your mom. She's the drunk, not me.
Does it make you feel sorry for yourself?
Hey, Tanya's drinking again, and maybe next time.
Or does it even make you feel frightened?
Does Daddy have to drink so much?
No matter how you feel, we can help. We're Al-Anon family groups, and we know what it's like. Just call 1-888-4-AL-ANON. To help them, you have to help yourself first.
And welcome back to Living Clean. Glenn, Keith, and we're going to go right back to the phone lines. That last call kind of rocked me. Stella in Bowmanville is online. Hi, Stella. How are you? Stella, you there?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm calling because I'm an addict, and I've been to treatment center a couple of times, but I've been using again now for about 6 years.
Stella, I'm just going to ask you to speak up a little bit, okay?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you as well.
Yeah, okay.
I've been using again for about 6 years, 7 years, I think. And I've been trying to get into treatment center again, but as Keith was saying, there's so many barriers, and it just, I feel like there's no one out there to help anymore. Like, I'm at the stage now, I'm addicted to prescription medication, but I'm at the stage now, it's not that I want to die, but the desire not to live like this is so much larger.
Yeah. What, I'm sorry, what did you say you're struggling with right now?
Prescription.
Prescription, yeah. Do you see that a lot?
Yeah.
Coming through the doors? Yeah, Deb mentioned that. How long have you been struggling with the prescription medication, Stella?
For about 20 years.
About 20 years, eh?
But I went to treatment twice before already. But I haven't been clean now for 6, 7 years, something like that again. But I just don't know where to go. I've called treatment centers, and I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to get in anymore. I don't have a family doctor right now because I've moved. So I'm kind of going in between doctors, and they all want, they say they give me a phone call, and you miss their phone call, and then you can't get back in touch with them, and then it takes another 2 weeks to get a phone call, and it's just such a struggle to even get in.
There's a treatment center right here in Hamilton called Womankind. Glenn mentioned earlier. My boss is actually an integrated manager for both services. They run a detox center, a treatment center, an aftercare program right out of the same center. Their number is 905-545-9100. And they're available 24 hours a day. The women there are fantastic. They can probably, get you in within a day or two and get a treatment plan going for you within a week or so. They have a closed treatment cycle. I believe it runs about 30 days. But they have openings coming up all the time. And they do provide transitional housing right there at the Women's Center at Womankind. That may be a good option for you if you have means to get out to Hamilton from Bowmanville. I know that women's centers are at a minimum to begin with, so it's tough to get the past those barriers. There's only a limited number of beds, so I understand that struggle.
Another thing I just want to throw out there as you're, because I hear this a lot, and it's not anything against you or anybody else, but can I ask you, while you're trying to get into these other places, do you go to meetings at all?
I have no transportation right now, but I go to meetings online, but I feel like because I'm not clean that I don't belong there. Right? I do go.
Well, yeah, you should go. Yeah, it's a matter of being around it. Going to those meetings will help you in the long run, because when you do get to go to a treatment center and you do get clean, that's a big part of. Right now you want to get clean. I mean, how many times do you hear somebody say that their first 6 years or 4 years of going to a particular 12-step group that they had been drinking or drugging, that they couldn't get it or whatever? I'm not preaching that, but you have to do what you got to do to stay alive, right?
Absolutely.
So don't let what somebody else says keep you from trying to save your life. And you do what you have to do to stay alive. And if that means that you're going to go to some meetings, then go to meetings. And there's just trying to think in a Bowmanville area, and I just don't have anything off the top of my head. There's Jeff, if you can put up Addictions 911, information, because there's do you have the phone number there for, do we have, there it is, thank you. Stella, there's a phone number that's going to be coming up on your screen in just a minute. And if you want to give Marla a call, that's whose number's up on that screen, and give her a talk, okay? Give her a call, and she'll chat with you about what might be available for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. And we're going to move along. We're going to go to Vaughn. You're really out the Toronto way. James is on line 6. James, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
Very well,
Good,
thank
James.
you.
How are you?
Excellent. Well, I've been better, but I have a problem with opiates, in general, heroin. I'm not an intravenous drug user whatsoever. I sometimes smoke it, sometimes snort it. I'm wondering about the detox programs for opiates, because like I've been through it so many times before, just doing it at home, and it really is hell. So I'm just wondering, what do they offer in these detox programs?
Well, one of the, like I was mentioning earlier, we have a protocol that we use at the Hamilton Men's Withdrawal Management, and several other withdrawal management centers across Ontario are now starting to use it as well. There's 3 medications, basically over-the-counter Gravol, over-the-counter Imodium, and then there's a prescription medication called Clonidine. Those 3 medications together help to alleviate the symptoms somewhat, making it manageable to go through the withdrawal. I'm not saying that it's a cakewalk, but it's a lot more manageable than it would be without those medications. The Clonidine basically helps to alleviate some of the aches and pains that you'd normally feel in your legs and lower back. And then the nausea and the vomiting that would normally take place, along with the diarrhea, gets taken care of by the other medications. So you don't go into malnutrition, you don't go into the dehydration you normally would. So those are 2 or 3 of the medications that we're seeing used a lot more, and we're seeing a lot more success with opiate users coming into our center and using that protocol. So.
Yeah, and there's another place. It's an alternative. It's new. Jeff, if you can go to Turning Point Detox, I think it's turningpointdetox.com. Very simply, James. Turningpointdetox.com.
They send them to us.
Yeah. But they, well, if that's the case, then it's redundant. But if you want that information, then there it is. And if they get sent over to Keith, then there you go. Well, but certainly that's there's that information for you. So, okay, is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Actually, one more point to it. How long typically is detox?
For the guys that we're seeing right now, normally the withdrawals last no more than 4 days. Typically, without those medications, you're looking probably at 6, 7, or 8 days to go through the full cycle. So yeah, it alleviates the symptoms quite a bit, lessens the time that you're in, that much pain and suffering. So it's well worth going to see your doctor and talking to him about it. If you need more information, you can call our detox center anytime. We have a protocol that we send out to doctors and to clinics, hospitals all the time that clients are trying to get through to withdrawal management centers. So
great. Thanks, James, for the call.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. How much time? Excuse me. 3.5. Okay, we're going to go to Janet in Hamilton on line 3. Hi, Janet.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Yes, I suffer from alcohol addiction, and I've tried quite a few times to stop, and I just can't do it.
How old's your son?
49.
49-year-old son. Who's alcoholic, you said?
Me, I am.
Oh, you're alcoholic.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Keith?
Have you been to any type of detox center or treatment center before?
No.
No? Well, have you been to counseling at all?
Yes, I've been to counseling.
Here in Hamilton?
Yes.
ADGS?
Pardon?
At ADGS or Suntrack?
No.
No, what I would strongly suggest is maybe giving the womankind a call and taking that first step, getting into a detox center, and you know what? Nobody can get through that alone. You do need the support. The people there are great. They'll walk you through what you need to do and what's going to happen, and you know, help to alleviate a lot of the fears and get you on the right path. You know, from there, get into counseling, some treatment. The whole thing is, it's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. You need to re-educate yourself on what to do when triggers happen, and you know, you can't just learn that stuff just by reading books. You need to practice it, and you know, there's people there to help.
Yeah, and Janet, that information's right on the screen right now. So write that down, okay? Okay. Thank you very much for the phone call. What did you say? You said about 2 minutes, eh? So we're about a minute and a half. Yeah. Well, you know what? I want to get the commercial in, and then go to these last 4 calls and make sure that we get them in. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to go to London, Stony Creek, Welland, and Toronto to end the show. So back with more Living Clean right after this.
Statistics state that it is likely you know a victim of abuse. It could be a friend, a relative, a colleague. It could even be you. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. Please give them hope. Help us make it stop. Go to abusehurts.com and give to the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.
Hi, I'm John Haynes. I'm the director of Vida Novus Treatment Center. We are dedicated to saving lives of the suffering addicts and alcoholics and their families. Our counselors provide one-on-one care and the attention that you need. There is never a wait. We have a room available for you now. Give us a call. We make treatment affordable. Your life is worth saving. Every life is worth saving.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Living Clean. Glen Ellen, Keith Ledger. Oh man, it's the end of the show. Just getting giddy at 12, 17, 16 and a half in the a.m. Taylor is on line 7 in London. Taylor, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're doing good. Are you doing good?
I'm doing good.
Go ahead, Taylor.
So I've been coming off of Oxycontin, Oxycosets for about 4 months. I'm doing a regime of weaning off of them with my doctor.
Good.
But I've just recently moved to London, and I really need to get into some support groups or something just to help me with all the anxiety and everything from coming down and all that. So I was hoping that maybe you could help me find a place that would suit my needs.
Yes. Well, again, the London area, I mean, there's a couple of treatment centers out there that there's, well, Brentwood is Windsor. London, I just had it in my head. It's Westover.
Addiction Services at Thamesville.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Say that louder.
Addiction Services at Thamesville is one of the centers available for both men and women there. They have counselors. Actually, I was at a workshop with one just a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know what their number is, but I'm sure it's available on the Addictions 911. They definitely be able to steer you in the right direction as far as supports. Naturally, the 12-step groups down in the London area are fantastic. NA is available for you down there, Narcotics Anonymous. You know, the people that are in those 12-step groups have been through exactly what you're going through now. And they'd be a great, you know, support for you to help you learn new ways to deal with things instead of, you know, the drugs themselves. So
another thing too, Taylor, if you want, Jeff, if you can throw my info up again, I do have some information at my office. If you want to send me off an email, that information, if it's not on your screen, will be coming on your screen. Glenn@abusehurts.com. If you want to fire me off an email, Taylor, I can email you the information, some of the information that you're looking for, and then you can go from there. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Thanks very much for calling in. It's so great, eh? People call in this time of night to get that information. That's great.
surprising how many callers with problems with the opiates.
Oh, it's don't even get me started. It's great that they
It's
call
an epidemic.
in, but it is an epidemic, and don't get me started. See, when Rick and Marty are here, Ozzy just goes. As soon as they say opiate, Ozzy, you can just see his eyes go. Jim is in Stony Creek on line 2. Jim. Hey, Jim, you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You?
Good. I was just listening about the thing on detox and everything, and it just kind of struck about. I was in detox in Hamilton 24 years ago, and I can't hear you now at all.
Okay, no, we're here listening to you.
Oh, okay. It was probably the best decision I ever made back in those days. I was kind of the drugs and alcohol. We may have met on the ice one time or another, you and I, Glenn. But no, I just thought I liked the subject on there, and then when the guy that called in about the acquired brain injury, I got some information out of that, and because I suffered an acquired brain injury 6 years ago.
Yeah, really.
And but just really inspired by that, and the show that you guys are putting on tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Very much appreciated. And thanks very much for the phone call. It's you never know who you're gonna meet, and I'm at a disadvantage because I can't see them. We're gonna go to Bob on line 4 from Welland, and I know who you are, Bob from Welland. How are you, buddy?
How you doing, bro?
Good. Great to hear your voice.
Good to hear you too.
Hey?
Nice to see you back in business. That's they say at the level of press, radio, and films, but I think you're doing a good job myself.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I think there's a lot that goes on in AA that wasn't anticipated back in the early days, eh?
Yep.
And keep doing what you're doing for sure.
Thanks, Bobby. How's things been going for you?
Yeah. Well, I stopped going to that meeting that I was going to.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. I kind of ran across a brick wall up there. I took a girl in that was...
Yeah.
And she
okay,
had...
Okay, let's not go there.
The whole of it is that the girl that I took there was centered out because she considered herself more a drug addict than an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And there's very few going to the meetings now that aren't dual addicted, and if they're not dual addicted to alcohol and drugs, are dual addicted to alcohol and sex, or they're dual addicted to alcohol and gambling and a dozen other things. Our 12-step program is being used by something like 200 different self-help groups now.
Mm-hmm.
And what that tells me is it doesn't matter what the problem is, God's the answer, and you can find a way of right relationship with God in the 12 steps.
Mm-hmm.
And it really upset me that this girl passed away and I'm not saying it was a direct result of that, but it was certainly a girl in need of some help, you know.
Sure.
So in any event, you keep up the good work, and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, Bob.
You take care.
Bless you, buddy.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. There's a guy that you talk about service. Anywhere. I'm talking anywhere, not just one place. I'm talking about just being a service to people in a humanity way.
Yeah.
That man helps a lot of people. Him and his friend Sid. But right now we're going to go to line 5. Christina in Toronto. Hi, Christina.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. It is
Good
morning,
morning,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yes, it's after 12.
It is. It is morning, but we're having fun.
And you two look so young and handsome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christina.
I think everybody's younger than I am. So, two things.
Yes.
Number one, some time ago, I was driving down the Don Valley Parkway, and I was going to drive right into Lake Ontario. And I didn't. I went to the hospital and checked myself in. And I was there for 3 weeks. And the doctor said, do you still want to drive into the lake? And I said, no, not anymore. So I scared myself. I didn't know what's happening. I was depressed.
Yeah.
But I'm okay now.
Yep.
And number two, I was addicted to television, watching television. And I cut down, and I was addicted to food. So I joined Weight Watchers, and I lost 19 pounds.
Very good.
And that's it. I'm a Christian, right? I don't know, you don't mention it about religion or anything.
No.
But I used to watch Nightlight.
Yeah, that's still on.
Yeah, it's still on. And usually now I sleep, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. It's on a little late.
Yeah. My husband's sleeping already.
Yeah.
He's retired, so, yeah. Well.
We ran a repeat on this show last week, and I wasn't awake to watch the repeat, so I was sleeping.
My son turned 40, so you have an idea how old I am, right? And he thinks he's old, and he has the same illness as I do. They call it now bipolar, but it's manic depression.
Okay.
And my father had manic depression.
Yeah.
And he drank alcohol, and he introduced me to alcohol when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
That's very bad, very bad. And my husband doesn't drink at all, so I stopped drinking, and I became a Christian, and I'm writing songs, and I sing, and so good things have come of it. And English is my second language, so...
Well, you're doing very well with that.
Very well.
Thank you. Okay, and that's about it.
Okay, well, Christina, thank you very much for calling in and ending our show with our callers on this very positive note. Thank you very much. So, my buddy, for your first time on the program, you've done very well.
Well, thank you very much.
But we take from a program like this, we've had many callers, and when you look at what you do at the Men's Withdrawal Management Center, see, I've said it so many times tonight that
you're
it's
getting good.
Don't tell Debbie that. Don't tell Debbie that.
There's no need for an acronym now.
I don't want to say acronym. I'll have trouble with that. But in the last couple of minutes, it's when you look at what gets you into the field of addiction, yeah, it's the same. I think you would say it's the same thing that kind of drives me to do what I'm doing here. And in about a minute and a half, tell me about that.
You know what? When I finally found recovery and got sober, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I was 40 years old at the time. I had been in engineering, been in the automotive industry, and hadn't found any kind of happiness in anything that I had done. And, I was through treatment in a recovery home up in Sudbury, one of your favorite towns. And, through the 4 months that I spent there, I did a lot of praying and, asking basically for God's will for me. And the answer came one day in a radio commercial that they were advertising on the local radio for addiction counseling intervention classes starting up, and I took that as a sign. I followed through, basically made all the phone calls, tried to get the funding. Everything kind of fell right into place. Within 15 days I found myself in a classroom, and you know what, from there it's just been every day just trying to do my best to help the same way people helped me. You know what, when I got here got into recovery, I didn't love myself, and I had guys that, you know, loved me completely in a treatment center and forgave me for the stupid things that I couldn't forgive myself for. And I wanted to be like them. I wanted to help out and, you know, show other people that it can be done.
And now you've done that.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at. I want the people out there to know who've been watching us that no matter what comes down the pike at you, just know that, first of all, that there's always hope, and never give up before your miracle. For all of us here at Living Clean, for Keith and I, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Living Clean has been brought to you by Vita Novus Treatment Center and Addictions 911. Living Clean is a presentation of the Canadian Centre for Abuse Awareness.